Here at God, Family, and Guns, we are a light in a very dark world, and we fight uphill, battling against algorithms and demonetizations. And how we battle against this is oftentimes support from you. So please consider being a patron to God, Family, and Guns. That link is below. Welcome to a series called The End of Times, where we're going through the book of Revelation verse by verse to do our best to see what it is we should expect to happen in the end times, but more importantly, what it is we should be doing. Because we all have a role in this returning of the kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. And as we've gone through this book, we've reached the place of Christ's return, and we spent several episodes talking about what it is John sees, the appearance of Jesus Christ, because all aspects of his appearance have deep, deep meaning, and we spent several episodes on that. And then we spent the last few episodes talking about this brief war that he engages in, because he comes to judge and make war. And before he can judge, he has to go through this war. Before he can establish his throne to sit on and make judgment, he has to endure this war. And this war is very brief. Again, we spent several episodes talking about it. Go back and watch those. But after the war, what he does is he takes the beast and the false prophet and he throws them into the lake of fire. But he takes Satan and he puts him in the bottomless pit. And that's kind of what we're going to focus on right there. Why is he doing this? What is happening here? There's a lot of meaning behind this. So we're just going to pick it up where we left off, starting in Revelation 20 verse 1. And I'd like to say, we're looking at least 170 episodes. And we've made it to chapter 20. This is such a big accomplishment because there's only 22 chapters in all of Revelation. So you've made it quite a ways. So we'll just pick it up there. Revelation 20, starting verse 1. Then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. He laid hold of the dragon, the serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. And he cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up, and set a seal on him, so that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years were finished. But after these things he must be released for a little while. Now, this is incredibly fascinating, because as you recall from the last episode, the beast and the false prophet, they went into the lake of fire. Satan didn't go there. He went into the bottomless pit. And now keep in mind, just to kind of remind you, that the devil and a third of the angels had fallen from heaven, and they were sent here to earth because there was no place for them. And the bottomless pit is a lot like a jail. It's like a holding cell here on earth. If we go back where we have seen this bottomless pit before, and we'll talk about why he's in the bottomless pit and not in the lake of fire here in a second, because it says that he's just there for a little while. That it's like a holding cell. Now, I don't like to jump ahead in Revelation, but it says here specifically in 23 that he set a seal on him so that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years were finished. But after these things he must be released for a little while. And then if we jump ahead to Revelation 27, and again, I don't like to do this, we will cover these verses when we get there, but just to show you what takes place after that 1,000 years. Now, when the 1,000 years have expired, Satan will be released from his prison and will go out to deceive the nations. So again, they put him in prison so the deception stops. He is the great deceiver. He's the reason why there is even evil and war and death and famine on this earth. So there's no deception anymore once he's bound up, but once he's released, that's what he does. He goes out immediately to deceive the nations. And again, we'll cover those, but it says in 7, now when the 1,000 years have expired, Satan will be released from his prison. So this is literally a holding cell. Satan was not cast into the lake of fire. He was not cast into hell. He was cast into the bottomless pit. Now, we've seen this bottomless pit. I will say, first of all, that the word is actually not bottomless pit. It's abyss. The word is for abyss. And so if you're looking for the word bottomless pit in the Bible to reference it, it's better to look for the abyss. Because that's the true biblical word, is that he's been cast into the abyss, which clearly has some sort of locked door on it. Now, let's go back to Revelation 9 where we first saw the abyss here. Revelation 9:1. Then the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven to earth, and to him was given the key to the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and smoke arose out of the pit like a smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened because of the smoke of the pit. Then out of the smoke locusts came upon the earth, and to them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. So here's this bottomless pit that has been sealed for who knows how long, and all of a sudden it's opened up. And this is how the earth gets dark. You know, keep in mind, as we talked about the darkness of the earth, there was a meteor that struck the earth that made a third of the earth dark. But once that bottomless pit was opened, the entire planet was dark. But something peculiar that takes place here too is it says, if you jump to 11, and they had a king over them, the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon. So here you have the king of the bottomless pit. He's the ruler of the bottomless pit. He's clearly the prison guard of the bottomless pit. So what you have here is Satan has been thrown into this jail and being guarded over by King Abaddon. Now I want to take a moment and talk about this pit for a second, because demons are very aware of it and they're afraid of it. They don't want to go there. A lot like if you were a criminal and you fear getting caught by the police and you fear going to prison. It's the same thing. They don't want to go there. They'd rather go anywhere else but there. And we know this to be true, because if we look at that moment when Jesus was on this earth and he found the man in the cave in chains that was possessed by a legion of demons, there's a peculiar conversation that they have in Luke 8, starting verse 28. When he saw Jesus, he cried out, fell down before him, and with a loud voice said, "What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, do not torment me." For he commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For it had often seized him, and he was kept under guard, bound with chains and shackles. And he broke the bonds and was driven by the demons into the wilderness. Jesus asked him, saying, "What is your name?" And he said, "Legion, because many demons have entered him." And he begged him that he would not command them to go out into the abyss. Now a herd of many swines was feeding there on the mountain, and they begged him that he would permit them to enter them. And he permitted them. So they begged him, "Don't send us to jail. Put us in a bunch of pigs and let us go kill ourselves and jump off the cliff and die. Like, it is way better than going to jail. Anything but that abyss, Jesus." And it's interesting because if you look at Mark's version of this account, he says in Mark 5, starting verse 7, "And he cried out with a loud voice and said, 'What have I to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I implore you by God that you do not torment me.' For he said to him, 'Come out of the man, unclean spirit.' Then he asked him, 'What is your name?' And he answered, saying, 'My name is Legion, for we are many.' And he begged him earnestly that he would not send him out of the country." So, and this country is the land. It is, the word is the land. And what he's saying is, I want to stay on the land. Like he's saying, don't send me to jail. I want to stay here. It's an interesting account, but I'm glad Luke gives the version of the abyss, because that's what he really wanted to stay away from. Don't send me, let me stay on the land. Now keep in mind, demons can't go into water either. So you got the land, or you got the water, or you got the abyss, and those are the only places other than inside people and apparently pigs and animals that demons can go. So this is the place that Satan is terribly afraid of going to. All demons are. So if we go back and read what we just read, going back to 20, keep in mind what this abyss is. 20 verse 1. "Then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. He laid hold of the dragon, the serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. And he cast him in the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal on him, so that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years were finished. But after these things he must be released for a little while." So it's a holding cell for demons. It's for fallen angels, and also things that have been prepared for the future, like those scorpions. It's just a holding cell for things that someday will be released. Because if it was a permanent thing, he would have put him in the lake of fire like he does after the 1,000 years are up. But it was a temporary thing here on earth, a temporary hold right here with us somewhere. It's fascinating. So how does this bottomless pit or this abyss affect us? Because it definitely affects us. Well, Romans has a peculiar verse where they talk about this abyss in a roundabout way, where Paul talks about it. And I just want to go there to really hit why this is good news for us. So I'm going to go to Romans 10, starting verse 1. Rather, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they may be saved. For I bear them witness that they have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. For they, being ignorant of God's righteousness and seeking to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted to the righteousness of God. For Christ is the end of the law, for righteousness is to everyone who believes. For Moses writes about the righteousness which is of the law. The man who does those things shall live by them. But the righteousness of faith speaks in this way: do not say in your heart, who will ascend into heaven, that is, to bring Christ down from above? Or who will descend into the abyss, that is, bring Christ up from the dead? It's a holding place, and it is Christ and God who has authority over it. And Paul makes it very clear and plain that it is only God that can do these things. It is not King Abaddon. It is not, the secret isn't into the angel with the key and the chain. The secret isn't into the serpent or the dragon or Satan. The key is God. It is understanding that He controls who ascends from heaven or descends from the bottomless pit. It is Him who makes that decision, and only Him who makes that decision. And that's why those demons begged Jesus, who has that authority, please don't send us to the abyss anywhere but there. So there you go. I hope this video helps, just in regards to what's the difference between the lake of fire, the bottomless pit. It's a holding cell here on earth somewhere. Any thoughts or insight on any of that, definitely put that in the comments below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel to Patreon. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.